Canola School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by Alberta Canola Producers Commission, Sask Canola, and Manitoba Canola Growers.
Welcome to Real Agriculture's Canola School series. I'm Kara Oosterhuis. In this episode, I talked to Brittany Hennig, who is an agronomy specialist with the Canola Council of Canada. Brittany gives a bit of a recap on some of the diseases and insects she's seen so far this year, and how this impacts harvest timing and the overall quality of your crop. Brittany also highlights blackleg disease and how you can actually properly scout for it, as well as some of the considerations you need to keep in mind for next year if you are seeing blackleg in your canola crop this year.
So I'd say there's 4 things. Diamondback was huge this year, so say if you did happen to spray for them, make sure that your pre-harvest interval, although you should have done that before you sprayed, make sure that it has been your pre-harvest interval before you spray your swath or want to harvest it. Also, blackleg disease scouting is really good. So I'll just pull a plant here, and what you do is you just take your clippers and cut right where the stem and the root connect, and you assess blackleg on the rating scale. We have one online, and this one looks pretty clean, so that's awesome. It is a good timing now to scout for blackleg and also for club roots and sclerotinia. The third thing was your variety selection. So what did you choose in the fall? Is it really a swathing variety, or is it a really strong straight cutting variety, or can it do both? Definitely don't change up your plans if you're planning on doing a swath and now you want to do a straight cutting if you have a swathing variety. Just keep that in mind. And also what products you plan on using, if you plan on using a chemical or if you plan on swathing. So just be aware that different timing, different application stages, and different rates.
And you mentioned that you can go online for blackleg. Where do the producers find that?
So just on the canolacouncil.org website, underneath you can find disease and scouting for blackleg, and also on canolawatch.org you can find that rating. So definitely, if you're scouting for blackleg, you need to be looking throughout the entire field. Really think about your past, what varieties you've used, and what your rotation has been, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. When you're cutting into the plant and noticing the stem, definitely look at the severity ratings, if it's 0 to 5, or if it's really bad, or if it's very minimal. If it's very minimal, that's something that you need to be aware of and keep an eye on. If it's getting up into that really severe stage, that's definitely something you might want to change your genetics and also change the host crop too. So get a longer rotation in there. And
is that all that can be done, I guess, for next year, is just changing your genetics?
If you have blackleg. So it's something you need to be aware of, and what we think is different, companies have different genetics. So as far as we know, the best thing you can do is just change up the variety.
And have you seen any hot spots this year with blackleg in the province?
I haven't heard of any terrible spots, but you do know that those couple fields that have had canola, the same variety on it year after year after year, and that is just, it's such high populations, and that's not a surprise at all. Even when we find a field infested with blackleg, we ask what the rotation has been like and what variety you've been using, and it's like, oh, that's not a huge surprise. So.
And do you have any final messages to growers?
Yes. So we actually have a pre-harvest tour, almost couple-hour session at the Canola Palooza sites in Lacombe at the Research Center. So what we'll be doing there is scouting for different diseases, pre-harvest diseases, and then as well going through Regulone, heat and glyphosate at 5 to 10 days prior to the tour. So it'll be really good to show the purpose of Regulone and the purpose of heat and glyphosate, and then glyphosate at different timing. And from 9:30 to 11:30 you can find it on the Canola Alberta website.